Now it's the sudden segue to me. Hey everyone on LinkedIn. Happy Wednesday afternoon from the western suburbs of Chicago. I'm Christine Kidder Graves, your career coach, helping you have work that works for you, to have work by design and not default. So anyway, I'm really excited to be talking about today's topic just briefly. It's only going to be about 20 minutes, but I really want to give you a value-packed post, I guess, or LinkedIn Live here. And it's about how to easily make connections and reconnect with existing connections using LinkedIn. We're on this tremendous platform of LinkedIn. LinkedIn keeps on growing, and it really is the way to help your career. And everybody knows, everybody nods their head, yes, I should be networking. I mean, when you think about it, I've heard it constantly every day this week. And that's how it typically is when it's about networking and connection. Everybody knows that that's the best way. If you're looking for a new job, that's how you find it. Like even reflect about your career. Look at all the positions that you've had. How did you find each one of those jobs? My poll this week on Tuesday, if you can go back to that, because I'm asking everyone in that poll, all right, at your current position right now, how did you find it? Was it through networking? Maybe it was through a variety of things. Maybe it was through a recruiter and also someone telling you about this recruiter working on this position. But networking is at the key. It is at the center. It helps us in our careers tremendously. Even when we're not in job search mode, it helps us a lot because it can help you to be better in your role, in your current job. I just left a previous virtual networking event, and it was talking about how do people, if you are looking for a board seat, how do you find a board seat? And again, to do that, that's kind of a type of job search, but it's critical for that to be networking. So that's what I'm talking about today. And I like to divide it into two just to kind of tackle it further, to think about it as always making new connections and also staying connected with your existing network. I think it's important to always be growing your network. When does growth occur? Growth occurs when we step outside of our comfort zone. If we just stay within our existing network, how are we really stretching ourselves? How are we really pushing ourselves? We need to expand beyond our existing network. Like if you go to a networking event, an in-person networking event, like I went to last night, I'm always looking at who do I not know at this event? I need to push myself to introduce myself and make some new connections. Otherwise, have I really grown? If I'm just there talking with the people I know, and I'm not really stretching myself. So that's why I think it's critical in our networking work. Although, again, I like to refer to it as connection work because that's what it truly is. When I hear the term networking, I think of technology and computers and stuff, but this is human connection that we're focusing on. Okay, let's not make it something it's not. It's really about connecting with others and working with them. Um, so it should be, again, making new connections every day, even if it's just one new connection, right? And then also staying connected with your existing network, because that is critical. That is very important. Okay, so what are my tips for helping you to make new connections? I think I basically have it in like 3 steps. Okay, well, actually, let's say 5. Okay, but it's very like core steps for you to take. Number 1, just be clear on your intention. Are you actively looking for a job right now? Or are if you're staying in your current role, you're committed to it for the next year or two, that's fine. But if that's the case, what do you want to get out of your connection work? Maybe you want to be prepared in the future for when you are going to make a change. Maybe you just want to stay connected with your network so you have a plan B. That is essential. In my conversations that I have every day with new connections and existing connections. And this is actually the subject of my next master class that I'm doing. I'm doing it in early May, so it's going to be like 2 weeks, in about 2 weeks. And it's how to land your next role without doing a job search. Nobody wants to do a job search. No one's like super pumped to do it. It's like, I can't wait to get up in the morning and start my job search. It's up there, it's in that same category as a root canal can be for many of us. Okay. So how can we make it as easy as possible? Okay. We need to lay the groundwork now. And networking connection work is at the key in order for you to land your next great role that would be a good fit for you, that you would be super pumped to be in. You've got to do connection work, and you've got to do it now. You've got to start doing it now. It's like investing or saving your money. All right. When they say when a child is born, the time to start saving money for that child is when they're born, because you can really leverage the compounding power, time, and money, and that money is growing. It's the same thing with connection work. Okay. It's a long game. The sooner you start, the better. The greater you're going to have, the greater balance you're going to have in your bank account. But I'm not talking about money. I'm just talking about you helping yourself and getting the value from your connections. And then also, too, you being able to help your connections. It's a two-way street. I think it's very rewarding. I know I've been very, very fulfilled when I've been able to help others in my connections, when they come to me with a request, when they come to me for help. I'm not talking about my clients that I serve. I'm just talking about the people in my connections and my network. So it is critical for you to really start doing it, and start doing it every day. But it starts with knowing what your intention is. Okay. So you've got to be clear on it, because if you don't know what that intention is, how are you going to go in a good direction? Okay. So being clear on what your intention is. What do you, at this point in time, from your connection work, is it going to help you with your job search? Is it going to help you with that long term, with that next step that you're working toward? What is it? The second thing that I think you really need to have to help guide your connection work. So it's going in the direction, because you know what your intention is. You know why you're doing this, what you're trying to get out of it. You need this second thing to have a focus and to have a plan. And it's a list. It's essentially a list. And when I'm working with my clients who are both in job search mode, or they're not looking for a new role. They're committed to staying where they're at, but they're still like working toward their long-term career aspirations. What's the next thing that they're working toward? You need to have a list. And it is essentially a company list. Like what companies would you be interested in working at in the future? What are those companies that are on your watch list you are interested in? Think of it as investing in the stock market. If you invest in stocks, you probably have a watch list. You have certain companies that have piqued your interest. You think that they may be good for you to invest in, but you're watching them, you're observing them. And the same thing would apply for future companies that you might want to work at. What are they up to? Are they in growth mode? Are they in the stage that you want to join? Maybe you don't want to work at a company that's in hyper growth mode. That's totally fine. What works best for you? What industries excite you? What really aligns with what you're interested in. So that's where the list comes in, because you need to put something down in a spreadsheet, like put a list in a spreadsheet or in a Word document. But these are the companies that you are interested in that you're going to focus on. Okay. I recommend you can have a pretty sizable list. It's up to you. I recommend no longer than a 40 to 50 long list. So, about 40 to 50 potential employers to have on that list. And often people have too little, like only 10 or 20. Stretch it further, have more. And you can even cut it into subgroups. Like maybe you have 15 smaller companies, and then maybe 15 medium-sized companies, and then maybe 15 Fortune 50 companies. All right. You could do it that way. And that way you have some variety there. Think of diversification. Again, when we're investing in the stock market, we should be somewhat diversified, right? Isn't that something that we're supposed to be doing? Maybe have a variety of companies as well, a diverse list of companies on your watch list. Okay. So again, that list will help you to be focused in your connection efforts. And that's why I like having that in an Excel spreadsheet or in a Word document. But if you have it in a Google sheet or Excel spreadsheet, you can track it, you can add more data to it. That's really the best place to house it. All right, so again, we're starting with our intention, and then we have a list to kind of focus our efforts. Now, the next thing is 5 minutes a day. I want you to start with 5 minutes a day. I hear it all the time. I'm too busy. I don't have the time for networking. I just don't have the time. Yeah, I know. I've told myself that too. And that really doesn't help me. And it doesn't help you by telling yourself that I don't have enough time. It's not going to get done. And you're not going to be in a better position a year from now if you continue to tell yourself that. So you have to stop. You have to make the time. I'm only asking you to do 5 minutes a day. Surely you can spare 5 minutes a day to help your career and to have your career be in a better place a year from now. Just think about it. If you committed to only 5 minutes a day, again, it's just 5 minutes a day to either reach out to an existing connection or to make a new connection. You don't even have to start doing both. You could just pick one and alternate every other day. I would be okay with that. You would be a lot farther along a year from now if you did that. Okay. So, resolving to do 5 minutes a day. And for that 5 minutes a day, you're going to go to that list that I was just telling you about. Okay. So, going to your list of companies, employers that are on your watch list, and looking and seeing, okay, where are my existing connections? Do I have any existing connections that are at any of these companies? Pick one, reach out to them, right? And use LinkedIn messaging. LinkedIn messaging makes it super easy. Very, very easy. How long will it take you to send a 2, 3 sentence message to one of your existing connections? Like 2 minutes of that. Another easy way to send a message to someone is to do the video messaging in LinkedIn. I sent out a bunch of video messages on Monday when I was reaching out, following up with some people. That's super easy to do too, and it's different. If you've been trying to reach someone, send them a video message, because I know when I get a video message, it sticks out more in my inbox. I'm like, oh, and it's just so easy to click on it, watch it, and then I'll get back to the person. So yeah, so do that 5 minutes a day. That is really important. Um, okay, so that's that. Oh, I already did. I set my notes here for this LinkedIn Live that at minute 15, I would give you the key to staying focused in your connection efforts. Truly, the key to staying focused in your connection work so you don't feel like you're all over the board. Because I want you to feel like your connection work, I mean, you need to feel good about it. You need to feel that it's helping your career with every 5 minutes a day that you're putting in. All right. Again, we want you to be in a better place a year from now than you are today. So that's why you need to have the, the target company list or your employer watch list. You could call it that too. Okay. But that is the list that keeps you focused and with with your existing connections, and it helps you to stay focused with making new connections. All right. So that is a secret. I wanted to make sure I was clear on that since we're already more than 15 minutes in, and I will be wrapping this up very shortly. Okay, so the next thing, this is super important. Make it fun. We Again, I've heard so many people complaining about, oh, I don't have the time to make connections. I just don't have the time. Well, you need to make the time because it can really, just by you investing 5 minutes a day, you can really get a great return. Think of this connection work that I want you to do for 5 minutes a day to start. Think of it as an atomic habit. Now think of the atom. The atom is so tiny. I mean, we can't see it with the naked eye, correct? Yet we know the power of the atomic bomb. Okay, so something so tiny, yet it was so powerful. And that's what this connection work can do for you in as little as 5 minutes a day. That's how powerful it is. Just like starting to invest a small amount of money when a child is born. By the time that child is 18, how much money will be in the bank waiting for that 18-year-old person? So it can't be denied the power of those small atomic habits. And if you're interested in atomic habits, get the book by James Clear. It's amazing. But anyway, I was jumping around a little bit, making it fun. So how can we make our connection work fun? Well, we can make it fun by um, doing something different, like going to those in-person events when they pop up. So I had the opportunity to do that last night, and it was for a group I that I belonged to since 2014. So it's a networking group specifically for accounting and finance executives and HR executives. So I got to go to this in-person event. They have them about twice a year. So it was fun to get out of the house and actually meet with the people that I see virtually more like on a monthly basis. So that was fun. And I want you to make it as fun as you can. Also, too, I mentioned I was in a networking event earlier today, like before I did this LinkedIn Live. That was a virtual event, but that's a group that has a monthly meeting typically. They always have really good topics too. So that can make it fun as well. Look at the networking groups that you belong to, and that can be a way for you to advance your learning, about topics that you're interested in, that you really care about. And yeah, so that's another way to make it fun. So the last thing before I wrap up, because I do need to wrap up in the next minute or two and let you get on with your day, is reassess this regularly. So you've started, you're clear on your intention. What do you want to get out of your connection work? You have an employer watch list that you use to focus your efforts, so you know which of your existing connections you're staying in touch with, and then you're also making new connections. You're going outside of your comfort zone. You're doing this for 5 minutes every day. You're making it fun, but I would recommend reassessing it regularly. So at the end of every month, I think that's a good thing to do. I mean, even at the end of every week, you can look at, who did I connect with this week, and just kind of check in. But then at the end of the month, really assess your efforts. Maybe you enjoyed it. Maybe it was good. Maybe you can increase it a little bit. Maybe 10 minutes a day, or maybe on certain days you can do a little bit more, but you should reassess it periodically. So I recommend that you do that on a monthly basis. And that way you'll stay more on target with what you need. So anyway, if you do need help, please reach out to me. I'm here on LinkedIn every day. I post regularly. And please look for my masterclass. So my masterclass starts May 2nd. Again, the title of it is How to Land an Ideal Role Without Doing a Job Search. Because again, nobody's like, oh yeah, I have to do a job search. I really want to do it. But it is a long game, and you want to be prepared. As we've seen at the beginning of this year, there were so many layoffs, and I have a feeling that there are going to be more in the near future. And you want to be prepared. You don't want to be caught off guard. So just as we save money for when we need it in the future, invest in yourselves with time, invest in your career, invest in your connections, and also be there for your connections so you can pay it forward too. But yeah, I'd love to see you in my masterclass. So if you're interested, it's totally complimentary and free, and the sessions will be recorded. If you're interested, if you would love to land your next role without doing a job search, message me and we can get the information to you. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye now.